Hey, what's going on out there? I would like to welcome every single one of you to Water Your Soil. So before I get into things, I would like to say, if you're new around here, I have two rules over at this channel. The first rule is for you to always use your own discretion when it comes to credit cards and credit scores. The second rule, that's for you to verify everything that you learn, whether it's here on this channel, another channel, or anywhere. That should be a rule to life. So getting into this video is going to be about some new credit card news. And as you see from the title, it should be a wake-up call, a huge wake-up call to everyone. Not some people, but everyone, because we have a growing credit card issue in this country. Now, before I get into the article, I want to say the way how I do it over here is I read through the article and I always leave the link to the article in the description box just for transparency and so you could check it out yourself. Maybe you come up with a different perspective from reading the article, but I put it there just so people will be able to check it out and read it for themselves. But the way how I do it is I read through the article, and then after I'm done reading the article, I give my opinion on what the article is, as well as try to provide a solution. So this article for this video is going to be by Newsweek, and we're going to get right into it, all right? The article reads, Americans have a credit card debt problem. The article was published on February 26, 2025. Now, it's kind of obvious what this is going to be about. I think if you're a subscriber on this channel, you should be aware that America has a credit card debt problem. But this article is going to reveal some things that even I didn't really know when it comes to credit card debt. I can almost guarantee it will be an eye-opener for some of you when you see the data that's inside of this article. But we're going to get right into it. All right, let's go. It says, as inflation continues to hit U.S. families across the U.S., a new survey has revealed that credit card debt is a growing concern for more than half of Americans. According to exclusive poll data from a survey of 1,000 employed Americans conducted by Talker Research for Newsweek, 68% of respondents reported having credit card debt. This makes it the most common form of debt, outpacing mortgages, 35%, auto loans, 31%, medical debt, 27%, personal loans, 25%, and student loans, 22%. Credit card balances have soared in recent years. In 2023, U.S. consumers owed $1 trillion for the first time, while in 2024, credit card lenders wrote off $46 billion in seriously delinquent loan balances in the first 9 months of the year, the highest level since 2010. Now, you all hear those numbers, and I've reported some of those numbers in prior videos on this channel, and there's a reason why I like to do these videos, especially these news articles. Number one, it keeps everyone up to date with what's going on in the news, because as I always state, if you go and you watch the news on your television, you're not going to hear this information within the first 15 minutes of that newscast. You're going to hear about the crime and the other things that are going on, whether it's locally or nationally. So I decided to share this information for those of you who don't go seeking the news. Yes, some of you come by and you're like, well, I already knew that. Well, that's good for you. Everyone else didn't know it though. And that's why I share it on here. But it's no surprise to me why credit card debt is what it is right now. And as they stated, credit card debt is higher than mortgages, which is kind of crazy. Now, I know some of you're probably thinking like, well, it's based on a survey. And I want you all to know that's how they usually get data for a lot of things, through surveys, because surveys usually are a useful indicator. But it is a big surprise and wake-up call that credit card debt is outpacing mortgages and auto loans. And as a lot of you know, right now, auto loans are high. It's high to finance a car. And mortgages, we all know what mortgages are. So for credit card balances and debt to be outpacing those things, we have a growing problem on our hand. And I always talk about it on this channel. I always talk about how sometimes as creators, we mislead people. We tell them about the great benefits that come along with these credit cards, whether it be for flights or hotels or cashback, but there's usually half transparency that's going on. A content creator will tell you how many credit cards they have and brag about how many credit cards they have, but there's not enough of content creators also showing you how much credit card debt they have. And that's a problem because you have people who are impressionable and they look at that and they're like, hey, I'm going to go and run up my credit card so I can have these points for flights and points for hotel stays. But they're not paying attention to the credit card debt that comes along with it. Me personally, I'm not really concerned with anyone bragging about how many credit cards they have or how high of a credit limit they have if their debt is high. That's like digging a hole and literally putting the dirt back in the hole. Now, everyone is not like that. There are some people with a lot of credit cards and high credit limits and they pay down their debt. But then there are also a lot of people who don't. So as content creators, we really have to be a little more responsible because I believe that plays a role in it as well, along with social media and feeling the need to keep up with the Joneses. Of course, people are going to come by and they're going to say, hey, people are in credit card debt because they're just trying to get by. But I beg to differ on that one. I believe some people are in credit card debt because they're trying to get by, but I believe others are trying to keep up with a lifestyle that they can't afford to live. And this has been documented on this channel. I've done videos on this showing news articles. The article revealed that people were out here buying business class and first class flights during the holiday season. And it wasn't like they were going to visit family. This was actually for vacation. So we have to be careful when we have these credit cards in our hands. Some people, they look at them as a spending option. And then others, they look at them as what they are. They're basically a 30-day loan that you have to pay back. And that's how I look at it, because once you start having those balances roll over, then get hit with interest on top of that, that becomes a big problem. And we're seeing that big problem in this article. So we're going to get further into it, all right? It says, the survey found that Americans have an average of 2.3 credit card accounts, contributing to higher personal debt levels. And then it has this chart. Then it says 1,000 U.S. adults were asked what type of debt they currently have. And as you can see, it's credit card debt. In fact, credit card debt is almost more than half of what mortgage is. And then you have auto loans, medical debt, personal loan, student loan, and then, of course, you have none of the above. It further reads, Howard Vorkin, CPA and chairman of Debt.com, told Newsweek that there are simple reasons credit card debt is so common. It says, quote unquote, it's so easy, he said. There's almost zero friction to overspending with a credit card. Being a credit card issuer is one of the few businesses where you profit if your customers are going broke. But why are Americans struggling with credit card debt? Vorkin believes there are a few reasons, starting with lack of education. It says, quote unquote, since we don't teach personal finance in most high schools and almost no colleges, credit card debt has become a rampant social problem, he said. And because everyone is doing it, many people think it's just the way things are. It further reads, while lack of financial education may make people more inclined to borrow more than they can afford, the economic landscape of the last decade also has a part to play. It says, quote unquote, the official statistics from the federal government fluctuate, but here on the ground, it's obvious that credit card debt is much worse than ever before because more Americans' finances are much more fragile than ever before, Vorkin said. The Great Recession, the pandemic, and now inflation have been a series of gut punches that have knocked out many American savings. Then further along in the article, it has a paragraph on how to deal with credit card debt. I think you all should check that out. I talk about it here on this channel. I have talked about it in the past, but if you want to give it a further read, make sure you click on the link to the article after you're done watching this. But what I will say is I feel the responsibility to get on here and show you all two sides of the coin. On one side, I'm pro credit card. I like credit cards. I'm a big fan of credit cards. I like being able to travel due to credit card rewards. I like being able to fly for free. I like being able to stay at a hotel. I like cash back. I like those things that come along with having a credit card, using it correctly, and getting redeemable rewards for it. On the other end, I have to talk about credit card debt. I know it's a touchy subject. Some people don't like when I talk about credit card debt, but I have to. And I was thinking the other day to myself, I was like, there are always people who come by, whether they're from the debt-free community or they're just a cash is king person. And they always come by and they talk down on credit cards. And I'll be honest with you, I don't blame them. If you look at where credit card debt is right now, it's basically embarrassing. And we have created a culture in society of people saying, hey, I'll just go and I'll spend this and I'll let it go to bankruptcy, or I'll let it go to collections, and then I'll send dispute letters and I'll challenge it. Not many people seem to want to take responsibility for paying back what they spend. But I know some people are going through it, struggling, and my advice to you all, if you can, stay away from using your credit card if you cannot afford to pay back what you spend. I know some of you are going to say, hey, well, we have to use credit cards. You don't have to use credit cards, because if you were never approved for one, you wouldn't be able to use a credit card. So you have to almost look at it like that, as if you don't have the credit card, especially if you're not able to pay back what you spend. And those of you who are in a position to pay back what you spend, make sure you are on top of it, because you don't want to be just out here paying the banks extra money that you really don't have to spend, especially if you didn't borrow it. But I'm a big fan of bringing these articles to you all and letting you all know what's going on. The big issue these days, 2025, and it was in 2024 as well, is credit card debt. And I'm here to continue to educate you all on credit card debt and how to avoid credit card debt. It's not as hard as some people make it seem. It's simply creating the habit of paying off whatever you spend. And if you get in the habit of doing that, it almost becomes automatic that you'll remember every month when you receive that statement, you need to pay your statement balance in full. Different people have different strategies and ways of going about doing it. Whichever way works for you, do it, but make sure you pay off whatever you spend. But anyways, if you're new here and you're feeling the vibe, this is Water Your Soil. Be sure to hit the subscribe button, turn on all notifications. That way you don't miss a future video, because I post often. That's clicking on that bell and selecting all. Also, this goes to every single one of you, my subscribers included. Be sure to hit the like button. It literally takes 1 second. Hit the like button. That's your way of letting the algorithm know that you like this video and you support this channel. I appreciate every single one of you for watching me. This is Water Your Soil, and I'm out. What's going on? This is Nell from Water Your Soil. So as someone who went from a 549 credit score all the way up to the 800s, I decided to share the same information that helped me go from poor credit to excellent credit. This book is titled Strategies to Master Credit. I put everything in this book, everything that helped me go from poor credit to excellent credit. All of the information is in this book. So I want you all to purchase this book. A lot of you have already purchased it, but it's available currently right now on Amazon.com and also MasterCreditBook.com. It's titled Strategies to Master Credit. You want this book. It has all the information needed in order for you to go from poor credit to excellent credit, or just simply maintain your good or excellent credit score. So get the book ASAP. And if you want something more in depth, you could take the course over at www.wateryoursoil.com. It's more in depth. There are actually chapters in this course, and it walks you through basically how FICO credit scores come about and how they're determined. And really, once you learn how FICO scores come about and the concept of credit scores, then you're pretty much on your way to either going from poor credit to good credit, or just maintaining a good or excellent credit score. So if you want something more in depth, I have the course over at www.wateryoursoil.com. All right.